Hey y'all, Xeno back here again for another episode of Mega Man 2. Last time we tackled Metal and Bubble Man, and today we're gonna be... I'm not sure. I think I'm feeling Crash Man. Let's do that. Usually my order in this game when I play casually is to do Airman first, so I come to this stage earlier most of the time, but Crash Man stage reminds me of Elect Man stage from Mega Man 1, and not in a good way. There's a lot of vertical climbing here, and much like Elect Man stage, this first screen is really obnoxious. Without weapons, trying to climb up here can be pretty tricky. Unexpectedly so, especially for the first screen of a level. Now, I'd like to take this opportunity, while not much is happening, to talk about the weird weakness order of Mega Man 2. Most Mega Man games have one weakness chain, or in Mega Man 3's case, two. But this game has a weakness chain, and then some secondary, also pretty effective weaknesses, most of which are due to coding bugs, because the Metal Blade isn't supposed to be super effective against so many things. But basically, the order that I believe was intended was, starting with Metal Man, Metal, Bubble, Heat, Wood, Air, Crash, Flash, Quick. But due to a bug, Metal Man's weapon works against Flash Man as well, so you can technically skip over one of them if you like. And Crash Man's weapon also works well against Quick Man, so there's opportunity for some inversion. I also know that for whatever reason, Airman's weapon does quite well against Woodman, even though the opposite is also true. So this game has some actual flexibility in how you want to tackle it, which I actually kind of admire. I thought more Mega Man games could do with the secondary weaknesses rather than one weapon doing a lot of damage and then the other weapons just kind of being worthless. I'm pretty sure Mega Man 9 and 10 are guilty of this, where there's only one weapon that does anything more than one damage. You can use Item 1 to skip a lot of nonsense here, as you can tell. Those crash platforms, you'll be waiting a long time without it. But it's not unbearable or anything. The real problematic part of the stage, the part that kind of gets on my nerves as far as design goes, is the part we're gonna be seeing right up here. Now, not helped by Mega Man's slow climbing speed is this segment, where you're supposed to climb upwards while PPs and co-PPs drop on you. And these are almost undodgeable. They are dodgeable. There's a maneuver you can do where you jump off the ladder and switch, but the casual player isn't going to know about this. You're going to get hit. You're just going to have to tank hits most of the time, unless you have Leaf Shield, which I don't. Metal Blade also works pretty well in circumventing the birds, but if you choose this stage first, probably prepare to tank hits unless you know how to avoid the birds. You can change your direction, actually, to change the direction that the birds spawn in, as far as I know. Like, if I try grabbing the letter from the right... Okay, wait, that didn't change anything. I know there's a manipulation you can do here, where if you face the opposite way, the bird spawns the other way and just drops the egg into the void. I guess I wasn't able to pull it off there. Either way, getting this E-Tank is obnoxious without items because you have to retrace your steps all the way back to the right side. So, I prefer to just bring item 1 or 2 and jump up like that, and I recommend you do that as well, because having to repeat that whole segment is not very fun. Now, I criticized Heat Man stage for not having much to do with heat, but I honestly feel like the same applies to this stage. Not much to do with bombs or crashing. A few of Mega Man 2 stages are kind of thematically void like this. Kind of unfortunate. A lot of the theming is really lost. Now, like I said, Crash Man is weak to Airman's weapon, which we don't have, but I think Heat Man's weapon also works. At least kind of. Either way, I find Crash Man really fun to fight, so I'm not going to be too bothered regardless of the outcome here. So the way Crash Man works is that he only fires when you fire, except it's a little more complicated. When you first enter the room, he won't fire until you fire. He'll just keep walking back and forth if you do nothing. I guess I should have shown that off, but he'll just keep walking back and forth like this until you fire the first time. then he begins this timer where if you fire before his timer runs out, then he'll jump up and fire. So, you know, every time you jump up and fire, he does as well. But he also has an independent timer where if you don't do anything, like you saw there, I did nothing, but he still tries to get you by jumping up. So what you want to do is basically just jump right next to him, and smack him with your bullet, like this. And then turn around and you can get a second shot in. You're able to get more than 2 shots in, like that. You can get 3, you can even get 4. Okay, there's 4. But the more shots you try and fit in, the more you risk messing his pattern up. Despite how simple he is, I've always found him really fun to fight. So, good fight in my eyes. I'll get to giving them arbitrary numbers later, but I like that one. And for the last stage, I think we'll do Flashman. I believe this is the shortest stage in the game. It feels like it only lasts for like a minute, but you'll see that as I go on. Crash Bomb. Here's another really underbalanced weapon. It consumes so much weapon energy and takes so long to explode. Really this wouldn't be a problem if it exploded on contact, but it doesn't, as you just saw. If you shoot it against an enemy, it'll just smack them and never explode. Really disappointing. But kind of a fun weapon to use. Really, it would be a lot more viable if the explosion time after attaching to a wall took like half the time, and also it exploded on contact with enemies. Then it'd probably be one of the better weapons in the game. As it stands though, it just takes too long. No reason to really use it instead of the Metal Blade anyways. Minus a couple certain enemies. It's good for the road runners in Woodman stage. Crash Bomb. I always keep it for that. But anyways, Flashman stage here. If you have Crash Bomb, you can get some extra power-ups, which is why I usually save this for after Crashman stage. But really kind of boring here. There's nothing really flashy about this, minus the graphics. And this stage also has ice physics, which I've always found a bit odd. Not sure why that's the case. Not that I'm bothered, but I never really understood the idea. You can follow this top path for an E-Tank, which, you know, fun platforming challenge. It also helps you avoid all the Sniper Joes. There's a breakable wall here. This is kind of a fuck you if you don't have a Crash Bomb yet. You have to walk all the way back, but whatever. I might as well take this opportunity to show off the Mecha Joe AI. So like I said, if you jump when they land, they won't shoot. Like this. You can use this to your advantage. They're also weak to air shooter, but I don't have it, so. Whoops. So like I said, Crash Bomb is probably intended to be the weakness of Flashman, but Metal Blade works a lot better. It does 4 damage, and it's aimable, so you might as well use it. So Flashman's AI. The way he works is that he walks around and occasionally uses his time stopper. When you hit him, the timer will shift slightly, and he'll also do a jump. Like, you can see he'll jump whenever you hit him. He was almost dead, but I'll let him do his time stop attack. So he'll do that, and he'll shoot at you. The way you dodge that is basically just by being above him, like this. And you'll dodge it every time. Since he dies so quickly, though, and also takes 2 damage from the Buster, you probably won't be seeing much of him. So, Time Stopper. It's basically Flash Stopper for Mega Man 4, but worse. Once you use it, you have to drain the full bar. It stops time, and your ammo slowly depletes, but you can't stop the effect. And this is probably the worst part about it. If you could pause and use the rest of it later, you know, stop the effect like in Megamix Engine, we have implemented the ability to stop it, but here it's just kind of a one-use trick. It has certain specific uses. Again, there's a use for it in Woodman stage, but once you get to the Wily stages where the ammo doesn't replenish, there's really not that much of a use case for it. Another really underbalanced weapon, kind of dog shit. Anyways, we'll tackle the remaining 2 stages next time, and then the Wily stages some other time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.